insurance coverage to 5 million naira.
Muslim community urges Oyo government to assist less privileged.
Police arrest mastermind of Abuja Kaduna train attack.
Schools officers shot as heavy rain returns to desert UAE. Now the details. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC) has raised the deposit increase coverage for all licensed deposits taking financial institutions. NDIC Managing Director and Chief Executive Bello Hassan announced this at a briefing in Abuja. He said the increment applies to deposit money banks, microfinance bank, primary mortgage banks, payment service banks, and mobile money operators. Key increases in deposit insurance coverage. Deposit money banks coverage has jumped from 500,000 to 5 million naira, providing full coverage for 98.98% of depositors compared to the previous 89.20%. Microfinance banks coverage has risen from 200,000 to 2 million naira, offering full coverage for 99.27% of depositors, up from 98.76%, and significantly increasing the value of covered deposits from 14.38% to 34.43% of total deposits. For primary mortgage banks, the maximum coverage has been raised from 500,000 to 2 million naira, ensuring full coverage for 99.34% of depositors and boosting the value of covered deposit from 10.77% to 21.04% of total deposits.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says the President Bola Tinubu's administration is determined to eradicate corruption without fear of favoritism. He stated this today at the second edition of the Chronicle Roundtable in Abuja, where he said the government has been working to reduce the unemployment rate in the country. The event was focused on examining how Tinubu administration's economic and social agenda will transform Nigeria. In attendance include the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, the Special Advisor to the President on Political Matters in the Office of the Vice President, Hakim Baba Ahmed, and former Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Shamsuddin Usman, among others. Some members of the President's party, the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), are currently being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) for sundry corruption charges.
The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says 12 personnel of the Nigerian Army are facing a court-martial in respect of the bombing incident at Tudun Birin in Kaduna. Mr. Buba made this known while briefing newsmen on Thursday in Abuja on the operations of the armed forces. It will be recalled that 85 civilians were on December 3rd, 2023, mistakenly killed in killed in military drone attacks in Tudun Birin, Igbabi local government area of Kaduna State. Mr. Buba said that the military would punish personnel found culpable in the December 3rd incident, adding that investigation was conducted and concluded with a resolve to ensure that the personnel involved were brought to book and justice served for the victims. He explained that the military has conducted a painstaking investigation into the incident and has initiated disciplinary action against those culpable. He said the military would take extra precautions in the future to ensure that non-combatants are safe.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Thursday adjourned till May 17 for the continuation of trial in the money laundering suits filed against Binance Holdings Limited and two of its executives, Tigran Gambarian and Nadim Anjawala. At today's proceeding, to the defendant, Tony Krukubo, had informed the court that he was yet to be served the additional proof of evidence The court's bailiff, however, told the court that efforts made by him to serve Gambarian the documents in Kuje prison on April 30 were met with vehement refusal by him to receive the service. He added that Gambarian had told him to serve the documents on the first defendant's lawyer, since the first defendant now has legal representation of his own. The trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, ordered that Binance counsel be served the documents in court. The matter was subsequently adjourned after the service till May 17th.
The Muslims community of Oyo State has appealed to Governor Seyi Makinde to assist the poor and needy by providing them with arms to alleviate their hunger and sufferings. The chairman, Muslims community of Oyo State, Alhaji Kunle Sani, made these statements at the distribution of Dangote rice palliative at Onimalu Palace, Ibadan. BCOS reporter Joy Nwanko completes the story.
The economic state of the country has been bad, as hunger ravaged Nigeria as a whole. This has motivated the richest man in Africa, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, to distribute 30,000 bags of rice, worth 200 million in Nigeria's economy. The donation was made throughout the 36 states in the country to assist the poor and needy Muslims, but due to logistic reasons, that of Oyo State was delayed. The palliative is to be shared equally among the 33 local governments. The chairman, Muslim community of Oyo State, Alhaji Kunle Sani, thanked Alhaji Aliko Dangote for extending his generosity to cushion the poverty culture in the climb, and he also urged other stakeholders to follow suit. During his speech, the representative from Dangote Foundation, Mr. Abayomi Showumi, described the action of the foundation as a laudable one and thanked them for carrying out this initiative.
This program is basically for the poor, it's for the needy, the less privileged, and our founder, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, will always do more. He has been committed to do this to alleviate poverty in the country.
Speaking with the BCOS News, the former Commissioner of Police Oyo State, Alhaji Lawal Suleiman, and the Asiwaju Muslim of Oyo State, Alhaji Motiula Oladejo, expressed their joy towards the event.
The event is laudable, it's okay, and it's worth it.
lẹ́yìn wá gbà náà tó gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ mùsùlùmí ibi tí a ti ní sàárà àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ni ọ̀gbọ́n tó bá súnmọ́ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ara ilé yẹn àbúrò yẹn ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn ní tó bá ní níwọ̀nba yẹn wọn náà sì sàárà kí ọlọ́run lọ kó lè bá fi ìrẹ́pò.
Highlight of the event was the loading of the bags of rice into the truck for it to be distributed squarely among the different local government areas in Oyo State. Joy Nwanko, BCOS News.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. The Governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue, Zak Adedeji, Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue, Seyi Tinubu, Senator Solomon Adiola, and Prince Olaide Akinremi have emerged as winners of Southwest Advancement Award 2024. In a statement issued today by the organizers of the event, the awardees emerged after a series of online voting. It said the results of the voting indicated that Adeleke emerged as Governor of the Year, while Adedeji emerged as Public Administrator of the Year, whereas Tinubu emerged as Youth Icon of the Year. Similarly, Parallel Bank was voted as the Bank of the Year, while Adiola emerged as Senator of the Year. Akinremi was voted as House of Representatives Member of the Year. The statement pointed out that the Southwest Advancement Award and Investment Summit 2024, with the theme Unlocking Investment Opportunities in the Southwest States, is scheduled to hold on Wednesday, 12th June 2024 at Oriental Hotels, Victoria Island, Lagos.
Operatives of the Nigerian police force have arrested the alleged mastermind behind the violent assault on the Abuja-Kaduna passenger train in March 2022. The police public relations officer, ACP OLUYOLEFM, disclosed this during a press briefing in Kaduna today. Adejobi identified the suspect as Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known by the ominous moniker of Mandi. According to Adejobi, these arrests marks a significant breakthrough in investigations into the unfortunate Abuja-Kaduna train attack. The police spokesperson noted that the suspect had also participated in the adoption of students from Greenfield University in 2021.
The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of at least 50 persons in connection with a clash in the Ilepo area of the state. It was reported that hoodlums clashed in the market situated in the Ilepo area on Wednesday night and continued till Thursday morning. The hoodlums reportedly set the market on fire, leading to the destruction of goods and other valuables. However, the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, CP Adegoke Fayoade, has directed the prompt prosecution of the arrested hoodlums and has equally warned that the command would decisively deal with anyone found breaching the peace in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Operations Area Commander Alagbado, and other divisional police officers under the area command are currently on ground to forestall further breakdown of law and order.
The family of a young man, Tohib Eniafe, has been thrown into mourning after he was shot at a petrol station belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited at Obalende in the Ikoyi area of Lagos State. It was reported that the incident happened late Wednesday and has left residents of the area in fear. It was also gathered that Eniafe was in the queue to get petrol when the incident happened. While in the queue, two men believed to be military officers attempted to drive into the station to buy petrol, even though they were not in the queue to get the product. Several eyewitnesses confirmed that Eniafe spearheaded the argument, telling the men to join the queue like everyone else. This further degenerates into a fisticuff and the eventual death of the young man after one of the men shot him and fled the scene.
The scarcity of premium motor spirits, otherwise known as petrol, and high cost of transportation have prompted many Nigerians, especially residents of Oyo State, to trek to cover some distance and transport fare. In this report, BCOS Olamipo Ishola takes a look at negative impact of scarcity of petrol and how people manage the cost of transport. His report.
No money, no petrol. I say I pay 200 naira. They say na 300. After the waka they go small. 10 o'clock I come for Gugwa. If I walk small, it's not see the load waka. If I walk small, I go drop am.
That was some Nigerians lamenting the current fuel scarcity, which have prompted them to trek to cover some distance due to the high cost of transportation. To some Nigerians, the situation is unbearable for them.
The fuel is expensive. It's not really encouraging. To go out, to go to work, you consider the transport fee first in everything. And as regarding the food item too, you know everything. It is transportation that controls the economy majorly, because it's not really encouraging in short. Like everything increasing, and not even increasing with just little amount, with high amount.
Àwọn kọ́sọ́mà ni máa ń gbéṣẹ́ wá fún wa jẹ́ pé tó máa ń lọ́mọ nọ́mbà tó máa ń gbéṣẹ́ wá àdèmọ́ owó la àwọn tó bá rí owó yá tó kò bá wọ́n sí bóde kọ́sọ́mà ní ìsìn òní epo ti wọ́n kò sí báwọn kọ́sọ́mà sì máa gbéṣẹ́ wá ọjà tó ti máa wí pé abẹ́ owó ọjà ní.
Epo lọ́jọ́ bá wa ṣe é rédíò kò tí o fẹ́ bá o irú èmi ní ìsìn mango mẹ́ta 500 naira ni lẹ́yìn tá a dẹ̀ ń tà ní mẹ́ta 200 naira mẹ́ta 100 naira tẹ́lẹ̀.
àwọn èrò kọ̀ọ̀kan náà tí wọ́n bá wọkọ̀ ní ẹ tí ò bá jẹ́ wípé ẹni tí ó bá jẹ́ pé ibi tó bá lọ important ló ń wọkọ̀ ẹni tí òbí tí ó bá lọ tí ò bá ti lè rówó ń bẹ̀ kò ní wọkọ̀ kí ló fẹ́ lọ ṣe.
níwọ̀n àbọ̀ owó ọkọ̀ owó epo tó pọ̀ òde fún wọ́n wọkọ̀ tààrà ẹsẹ̀ díẹ̀ ọkọ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n ń ṣe epo wọn bá epo ní 1,001 gbogbo ọ̀nà àkùbọ̀ 1,001 1,015 naira per litre kí la fẹ́ fi gbé mo ti wà lórí tọ́nu ìtìlẹ̀ wákàtí kan kó tó kàn mí ní ìsìn wọ́n ń ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọ́n ò rí ṣẹ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n wọkọ̀ díẹ̀ bí ìbáyìí tó bá pààkì lásìkò ìgbọ́dọ̀ mọ́sẹ̀ nǹkan báyìí ní ń jáde sẹ́yìn ọmọ ìwé sí owó ọkọ̀ ni.
Although some outlets of NNPCL in Ibadan were seen selling the products to the people at the control price, while some filling stations are yet to receive the petrol. As NNPCL promised effective distribution of over 250 million litres of petrol, it is hoped that the hardship being faced by Nigerians due to the non-availability of petrol will soon be over. Olamikbosi Ishola, BCOS News.
As the world continues to evolve, no doubt man is devising means of taking full advantage of technology in order to provide solutions to challenges that accompanied the evolution. One of the challenges in today's world in the area of automobile is access to safe, affordable and environmental-friendly energy. In this report, a staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafi tries to shed light on the opportunities in use of compressed natural gas (CNG) in powering vehicles.
Recent experiences of road users and commuters in the country has further underscored the need to have alternative to petrol as fuel to power automobiles. This was as queues resurfaced in filling stations, while several filling stations remain short, except for the government-owned filling stations. Several of other who have petrol to sell dispense at CNG as an energy to run vehicles.
You would have to get the CNG installation done on your vehicle. It will contain a tank, at least in the boot of the car, typically in the boot of the car. Will contain some other components from piping to reducers to regulators. You have the nozzles for CNG as well, all of that installed on the vehicle, and then you can just run your vehicle. So at that point it becomes a hybrid. You can run both on petrol or CNG. You can choose in between the two. Regular vehicles, tricycles, even your generator can run on CNG if you have the right apparatus to do that installation. Yes, it will. Anything that can burn petrol and burn diesel can burn CNG. Now, CNG is methane, pure methane. It's gas in its purest form. So it's totally different. And that's what makes it cheap.
Mr. Onakoya highlights the advantages of a CNG-powered vehicle when compared to the petrol or gasoline-powered vehicle.
Now, it also prolongs the life of an engine in terms of longevity of the engine, because it doesn't have carbon build-up like petrol or diesel have. And because it doesn't have that, your engine oil is cleaner for longer, your engine wear and tear is reduced drastically, the exhaust coming from your car is cleaner for the environment generally because there's no carbon.
How safe is a CNG-powered vehicle? Mr. Onakoya maintained that contrary to the belief that gas is highly combustible, CNG's risk is even lower in comparison to gasoline.
When you start using petrol, are you worried about the safety of petrol? Because truly, CNG is safer than petrol is to use on a vehicle. CNG has a burning point. It has a flash point where it burns. When CNG concentration in the air is below 15%, it will not burn. When it's above 22%, it will not burn. So even if they release CNG in this room right now, so long as the concentration is not within that range, even when you create a spark, it will not burn. If it's too much, it won't burn. If it's too little, it won't burn. So CNG is not as volatile as petrol is. And so when it comes to safety, what matters most is for the installation to be done correctly by a professional, and you are good to go.
Asked on the cost of installation on a vehicle, Mr. Nakoya said the cost of installing CNG is nothing compared to the cost of running a petrol-powered vehicle.
Petrol right now retails for about 580, 600 naira. CNG is sold at about 230 naira per SCM in Ibadan here. So if you break it down into naira and kobo, CNG runs at about between 40 and 50 naira per liter. However, it's important to know that CNG burns faster than petrol does. We will do a 1.4, 1.5 liter capacity engine to 1.8. That's say an average 4-cylinder engine out there. It gets 65 liters of CNG in its vehicles. It should be able to take a trip to Lagos from Ibadan and come back to Ibadan. Now that 65 liters of CNG is equivalent of about 14 SCM. Now 14 SCM would cost about maybe 3,200, 3,300 naira. Now if it is petrol that same vehicle want to take to Lagos, there is no way that they would spend less than 18 to 20,000 naira buying petrol. I have had to interview a keke rider that uses CNG, and that in a day typically he uses petrol between 8 and 9,000 naira. That is buying at 600 naira per liter. And that now that he has switched to CNG, in a day he uses between 1,700 and 1,800 naira CNG per day.
For those who are not aware, the federal government is already hatching the plan to put CNG-powered buses on Nigerian roads as a way of alleviating the sufferings of commuters. It is therefore hoped that individuals who embrace the innovation, which of course is already being used in countries around the world as global attention is shifting away from petrol-powered vehicles. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
Schools and many offices were closed across the United Arab Emirates on Thursday as heavy rains returned to the desert country just 2 weeks after record downpours that experts linked to climate change. According to the National Center of Meteorology, a lightning storm with high winds swept across the oil-rich monarchy overnight, with more than 50 millimeters of rain falling before 8 a.m. in some areas. It was reported that flooding was seen in some parts of financial hub Dubai and the city's airport. The world's busiest by international passenger traffic cancelled 13 flights and diverted 5. State-owned Dubai-based Emirates and sister airline Fly Dubai both warned passengers of delays as schools switched to remote learning and public sector offices were closed. But the rains were not on the scale of blocked major roads for days and forced the cancellation of more than 2,000 flights.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation has increased deposit insurance coverage for all licensed deposits taking financial institutions.
The Muslims community of Oyo State has appealed to the governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, to assist the poor and needy by providing them with alms to alleviate their hunger and sufferings.
Operatives of the Nigerian Police Force have arrested the alleged mastermind behind the violent assaults on the Abuja-Kaduna passenger train in March 2022.
Schools and many offices were closed across the United Arab Emirates on Thursday as heavy rains returned to the desert country just 2 weeks after record downpours that experts linked to climate change.
That's all from Newscope Desk. For now, it was packaged by Eniola Adiaga and delivered by
Olukemi Ajayi,
Afolakemi Akombi. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune in for the Yoruba edition at 8 o'clock tonight. Good evening.
wọ́ọ̀kú lọ́rọ̀rùn pẹ̀sẹ̀ láti kéde nílé akéde tọ̀yọ́ ni ó nílò kó ṣe mọ́ dára rẹ̀ láàmú sọpọ̀ òun wọkọ̀ bọ̀ wá sílé akéde lóríta Basọ̀rún ìlú Ìbàdàn mọ́ pàápàá jùlọ láti ṣe ìkéde yẹn polówó ọjà yẹn tàbí fi ń tọ́tọ́ tó sì yẹ tó àwọn aráàlú létí bóyá nípa àpàdé nípa àsọjí àbí nǹkan kan àbómi ìtẹ́balẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe ẹ torí agbègbè àgbáyé kí ẹ náà tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe hàn wá 09158703300 lórí agbègbè kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ WhatsApp nọ́mbà ìkànnà àmọ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀nù pẹ̀sẹ̀ stress free courtesy BCOS. You don't have to stress yourself coming down to Ile Akede Orita Basọ̀rún Ìbàdàn again to make that announcement or place that advert. Book online, personal paid announcements, obituaries, or in memoriam, annual conventions, workshops, crusades, social diaries, inter-house sport competitions, musical shows or concerts, and other promotions. Very simple. Go online to book for transmission on BCOS radio channels or BCOS TV, or simply call 091 5870 3300 or WhatsApp on the same number 091 5870 3300. BCOS, a media giant in a class of its own.
Welcome to the moment of the New Living Way with Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Paul Ifekolujo, anointed preachers of raw and undying. I am sure it will be a moment of refreshing and reawakening, and your soul will be lifted up as you stay tuned. He called me out of darkness into his marvelous light. He chose me for his purpose. He chose me to be his vessel, chosen, disciples of Christ. I am chosen by Christ. I am a chosen disciple of Christ. I am